Okay. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Twin Flames, the Great Spiritual Awakening podcast. My name is Dennis. I'm your host and a certified ascension coach with Twin Flames Universe. And I've been on my Twin Flame journey for a couple of years now, applied the teachings of union, and I'm living in union with my Twin Flame today, thanks to doing that. For our episode today, I'm very happy to have you with me, Twin Flames in Union, Paco and Déborah. Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hi, doing fine.
We're doing fine. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with me today. I'm looking forward to, hearing your story, and specifically also today, amongst other things, finding out how you guys came into union and what it's been like for you living in union since you've been together. That's been about a year now for both of, I think a bit over a year now, right? Since you've been living together.
Yeah, it's pretty much about it.
A year and 3 days.
Yeah,
Like
if you have to be specific, yes.
Exactly.
So, for how long have you two been practicing the teachings of union? For how long have you been in Twin Flames Universe already?
Me personally, since December 2019, so it would be almost, kind of like pushing on 5 years almost. 4, if I did the math. And I think you joined a little after me.
Yeah, I followed where my woman was leading. Some months later, I came then into the community of Twin Flame Universe.
No, it was December 2017. I got it wrong.
It must have been, because I was just thinking I joined beginning
After,
of 2018 and you were already there. So you joined a bit before me, a couple of months.
Yeah.
So
it's almost 5 years now. I remember that.
Wow. And how did your Twin Flame journey start for the both of you? When did you come across the term Twin Flame for the first time? And what was the catalyst for your Twin Flame journey?
Well, I go first.
Of course, you go first, like always. Or mostly.
Well, I came across the Twin Flame terminology pretty much at the same time that I joined the community. This was December 2017. And it all started after meeting this person on March that same year. And I was already moving through a life crisis and taking on a journey. I was 3 months in Germany trying to make my way to live there. And after meeting this person and the trip not really working out, I went back to Buenos Aires, where I was living at that moment. And I just had to make sense of everything that had happened. For me, like it all had to have a meaning. So I started kind of like researching and like what was the connection with this person, because it was kind of like out of the ordinary and I couldn't really put words into it. And I just needed to understand. And basically, YouTube was the main source of information, and one thing led to another. And I just found Chef and Julia's videos. I started resonating with them, what they were sharing, the experience pretty much they were describing felt like what I was moving through at the time. And I just kind of like kept on going with it. And shortly after, I found out they had a book, like Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover. I chose to invest whatever little money I had at that time. And the book was pretty much a before and after. After that, I started getting to know the mirror exercise. I started practicing it. I saw how wonderful the results were. And that pretty much kept us going up until this point.
Yeah.
How about you, Paco?
Yeah, it started. I was frustrated. I came to a point in my life, I was just frustrated with everything. I was frustrated with my romantic life. I was frustrated in my friendships, to be honest, in my work and also in my sex life. Everything was frustrating, also family life. Everything felt not good. And I tried to change with different things. I read books and I I tried different religion and I tried different spirituality ways. Nothing made it better. It just this frustration in all areas of my life became bigger and bigger. But what's always remained in my heart was this belief on true love. No matter how bad my life felt, I always believed in true love. And so, like you shared, Deborah, I was following this feeling in my heart. And so from one book and from one webpage and from one YouTube channel to the other, I came to the term of twin flames. And with the term of twin flames, I found the teaching of unionism. I found the teaching of Jeff and Julia. And the only thing I immediately picked up when I saw the first YouTube video of them is they are honest. And I said, I stay because they are honest and I would like to have what they have. The only thing I always wanted in my life is a person where I can be that intimate like they two are on YouTube. And they are so courageous to show us that in the public on YouTube. And I just decided there must be something truth in it because what they show me is honest and I can feel it. I'm not a dumb person. I can feel if someone is playing with me or not. And they were honest. And from this decision I made in my heart to stay where I feel good, everything started to change immediately in my life. Everything got a little better, just a little, just this one decision made it a little better. And so I had to heal at the beginning through blogs and showing up in the community and showing up for something that feels really good. And this was my beginning.
Thank you for sharing. So when the two of you found the teaching and you really started applying it, could you talk a bit what changes you've noticed in your life and inside of you? What changed for you once the teaching came into your life?
Well, the first thing that I noticed was a sense of kind of like inner relief. I remember doing the first mirror exercise and finding a level of peace that I didn't thought it was possible or even existed. And the more I kept applying it, I started out like over the few couple of months since beginning with it, I realized that I no longer got upset so easily about things that I will normally be like, how do you say this in English?
Freak out?
Yeah, kind of like jumping everywhere. And it was, I don't know, it kind of like made it easier to start putting healthier boundaries with people around me. I was back at the moment living with my mom and she was very sick. So that was very helpful during that period. Also with my son. And yeah, it's just little by little. And the most interesting or wonderful thing was that I even came across the term life purpose, which I was probably already kind of like investigating on that without knowing I was doing that. And so, yeah, I kind of like felt guided to embrace it more and to start exploring what that meant. What were the things that I was feeling called to do? What was the thing that I kind of like liked the most? And yeah, little did I know that by doing that, little by little, someone else was appearing in the scene. And yeah, that was kind of like one of the coolest things, I think. Was like looking back, that the minute I started embracing that side of me, my twin flame pretty much showed up, even if I was unable to see it, or I need a little help.
Yeah, for me, was the first thing, also with the first mirror exercise I did, I immediately felt this change in my life. It felt just good. I did it, how I learned it in the book. of Jeff and Julia, Twin Flames, Finding an Ultimate Lover. So I wrote down my first mirror exercise and it functioned. And I thought, oh, that functioned. I feel good now.
It actually works.
After years of frustration, I feel joy. Okay. That is amazing. I felt like, wow, what is going on? And that is so cool. Before I had to drink a lot of alcohol that I feel joy or peace or taking drugs.
Yeah, but actually that was kind of like numbing out to what you were feeling in truth. That was not true joy.
I didn't know that at that time.
Of course. We kind of learned that over the years.
Or I had to do something else, working a lot, that I feel this satisfaction in my to feel peaceful in my heart. Satisfied. I wanted to say satisfied. And so I said to God, as I was always talking to God, I stayed there because everything what I heard from their YouTube videos and I tried in my life, also their mirror exercise function. So I saw immediate results in my life in a very logical and
grounded way. Yeah.
I thought, okay, that's cool. Nobody is forcing me to anything. I can do it by myself. I am not addicted to anyone. That feels very good. And so I felt I also learned to become really mature and learn to trust what I feel in my heart, and that this what I feel in my heart can come true, because I desired at that time so much to just feel better. I just wanted to feel better. I just don't wanted to always experience again and again that when I follow my heart, that something bad happens and I don't know what to do anymore, and I just get more frustrated and more frustrated. And with this one mirror exercise, I realized, oh, I can help myself in every situation that feels shitty for me, and I feel after that then better. And this about kind of a dream came true for me just with receiving this tool. And this was an immediate result I experienced applying the teaching the first time.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. To be honest, I've tried meditations and other ways of kind of like connecting with my inner voice or higher self, or however people want to call it. And it never really stuck with me. And the mirror exercise, being logic as it is, was so helpful. I think it's the only spiritual tool that I've been able to embrace on a regular basis, and even find ways around it when at some points during my journey, it became a little like my mind was kind of getting the hang of it, and I was like already getting a little tricky to further complete the 4 steps. I will still find ways around it. And almost 5 years, I don't think I've ever committed to doing an exercise for so long, to be honest. So it's extremely helpful. Yes.
That's really cool what you guys are talking about, because I feel when it comes to the teachings of union, like you really have to try it on. And the moment with anything you have to try it on, but like the moment you really try it on, like you go all in 100%, you can really see that you get results. And as you shared, Paco, you like did one mirror exercise and immediately felt better. And the deeper you dive, the more you can just like see the immense results you can have with it like immediately. And I think just like generally, as people, we're always looking for something that brings us results, because we don't want to meditate 3 hours and then afterwards be peaceful for 10 minutes and then be like, okay, what did I do that for? And with these teachings as you shared, it's like really, you really see how powerful it is and what big shifts this brings into your life when you apply it almost immediately.
Yeah, you do the mirror exercise 10 minutes and you feel then 3 days good.
Yeah, and it kind of compounds too. Like, for instance, there are upsets that are going to be recurrent and you will have to move through them many, many times. But you can start seeing, like, you can take stock after a few weeks or months, or even if you've been long enough years, and realize like, wow, this truly is like really helping. I've been able to handle situations from such a peaceful place. I never thought that was like possible, like ever. And like that to me is precious, and the fact that you know that you can keep cultivating it, and if you allow it to unfold naturally, it will be very easy to one day kind of like look back and say, oh wow, this doesn't upset me anymore, or wow, I reacted so maturely in this place where before I would like throw a temper tantrum or something like that. I don't know, for me the mirror exercise is wonderful, the teaching itself, but mirror exercise is the core of it.
Yep, absolutely agree with you. And yeah, that's the best when you like, you've noticed that in a situation you reacted a certain way, and then over time you heal it and you can react in a completely different way and from peace. That's like really priceless. I love it that you shared that.
That's exactly the word that I was thinking about, priceless.
So Déborah, you already mentioned quickly that when you started diving into your life purpose, you attracted Paco. How exactly, what happened there? In what way did that happen? And how did you guys interact for the first time?
Well, back at the time, I don't recall precisely, but I think I already had become an ascension coach for Team Few, like Twin Flame Universe. And they were looking for someone to host one of the discussion groups that we were having when joining the schools, either Twin Flame Ascension School or Life Purpose class. And I offered to host the Twin Flame Ascension School discussion group on Thursdays. And I think it wasn't like, it was right on the first day that I kind of like took on the position that we had a new member. And this was Paco. He was kind of shy, not talking much. But over the encounters, we started developing a little bit of a relationship. And like one of the things that still stays with me is that at some point we said that when I was in Germany, I could visit and kind of like drink coffee with a piece of cake together. And back then it was like, okay, just like friends from the community, we can meet. That's very cool. I was not expecting or believing under any circumstances that I was gonna be doing that like for real. So yeah, now we get to eat a piece of cake every here and there and have our cups of coffee every time we want.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very cool. But yeah, that's how it all started. Kind of like a very innocent discussion group.
So none of you had any idea whatsoever that you were twin flames or any of
I
that?
wouldn't have guessed it like in a million years.
Wow.
When he first showed up. We had to work through our blogs to kind of like recognizing each other, and that took a while. But yeah, with the help and the support of the community, we were able to pretty much work through it. And yeah, well, it was kind of like 3 years since you joined. So in that course of like in that period of time, we were able to work through the biggest blocks to recognizing each other. And then when we finally felt guided to explore whether we were twin flames or not, we had a call. We read our love lists, which is one of the exercises in...
You missed something in the story.
Yeah, please jump in.
Yeah, you already felt that I could be your twin flame a year before.
Well, if I have to be like super down to the detail, yeah, in December...
You felt it by yourself.
December 2019, which would be 2 years after joining the community. I had this little voice inside, or like God saying, what if Paco is your twin flame? Paco was not Paco back then.
Meaning for our listeners that Paco didn't know.
Yeah, Paco is a trans man. So by the time I know him as Cornelia. So that made it a little bit more difficult for me to recognize him as my twin flame. But after doing the inner work, this was the time where a lot of same-sex unions were also being revealed in the community. So that kind of like opened the door. The first question that arose was, what if my twin flame is also in a woman's body? What if my divine masculine is in a woman's body? Why would I be the exception? It was like, there's absolutely no reason for that. I was like, okay, may not be very happy about it, but it can be worked through. And it kind of like let it go by. And very shortly after, I remember one night I was at my grandma's, and we were all going to sleep, and I was having this inner conversation. And then it was the question, what if Cornelia is your twin flame? And I'm like, okay, God, I'm not very happy about this, but if this is your will, let it be. We will find a way to work through whatever blocks. And then kind of like, that's all that was required for me. Journey kept on going. And yeah, that was kind of like the last one. I did had a couple of months later, though, in a session with my ascension coach. That again, the connection between us was coming up. And so Brianne, my coach at the time, she helped me get clear. I was like, okay, but how do you feel about it in your heart? And I was like, well, I feel like we are more kind of like kindred spirits. I wasn't really seeing the connection, but kind of.
Isn't it kind of like kept coming up no matter how much you didn't want to admit it?
Yeah, it was interesting because there was also a moment where I needed help with getting around sorting out something financially that I could pay for. I don't know if it was the sessions or what. In Argentina, getting US dollars was a little bit complicated. So I remember reaching out to him and asking if he could help me with that. And it was absolutely no idea that I was asking my twin flame for help, to be honest. Neither did you. No, he was like, nope. Dropped a big fat boundary, and of course, like, we found another way. But yeah, it wasn't until May last year. Was it May last year? Time flies by really fast, so help me out here. It was
in April, you kind of wrote me a message if I would like to discover with you if you are twin flame.
Yeah.
So before that happened, I just want to stay kind of at the time period that you just talked about, Déborah, because that was also the time for you, Paco, like not quite knowing, like Déborah was over there thinking that maybe you're her twin flame. And that was the time when you started discovering that you're divine masculine and just going through that shift. Would you like to share how you found out that you're the divine masculine, how that happened for you?
Yes, I can. I love talking about that. I knew that I am a man all my life, but I was such a people pleaser that I ignored that I knew it since I'm a child. And it happened already as a teenager. Kind of always popped up again and again. I behaved like the boy. Kind of everyone in my environment knew, okay, she is behaving like a boy again, and everyone was accepting it. Nobody was talking with me about it. Nobody kind of helped me to bring the awareness.
Over explore exactly what happened.
And then my father died when I was a teenager. So I had to grieve. And as I was such a people pleaser, I also didn't allow myself to grieve. So at this moment, I experienced the trauma and I decided to not feel my feelings. anymore. And that was not helpful in my coming out either. So I was living since a teenager with this big fat trauma. And it was not helpful in my exploration of my true self. And no matter what I tried, or nothing what I tried, or the therapies I made, or to the psychologist I went, they all said, you are okay, because I was good in talking and expressing what is going on. But they never realized I was hiding everything I felt in a corner and blocked it completely. And when the only thing I had to do was to heal, because my true self was always there. That's why it was so easy for me. In truth, I was so happy when I was able to just let go of people pleasing and just allow myself to feel my feelings. Because I helped my younger brother to came out as his true self as a trans man. I felt it.
Beautiful.
You sense when you are transgender, when someone else is going through that. And I asked him, do you feel like a boy? And he talked with me a year, and so he came out. But I didn't have someone like me
supporting you.
Yes, exactly. And thanks to the mirror exercise, I was able, layer by layer, to peel up all these blocks I had to feel my true feelings and see the truth in my heart. Because with the years, it's just got more and more and more. So I had to clean kind of all this stuff, what was above my true feelings. And that was my journey. The deeper I healed in my heart, the clearer I just felt my true self. And it felt with every step just better, because I learned also to heal my self-confidence. I had such a low self-confidence. I just played the self-confidence I showed up in the world. But in the community, as I said, I was just shy, because I was not.
You couldn't get a word out of him.
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt in this community, I can be honest, I'm shy. Okay. I could not, in this community, I was not able to play anything anymore, because I was so happy to find a place where I can be my true self. And I was just shy, frustrated, and depressed. Okay, I was not able to hide it. Why should I? These people are so honest with me. Why should I? Why should I hide what I am? And I don't know exactly if I am a divine masculine or divine feminine. I don't know. I feel I am a woman. Yeah, okay. I don't know exactly. I was saying that to myself 30 years. Okay, so I believed myself this lie. I told myself so long. Nobody else was forcing me to do that. In truth, my mother never forced me to be a girl. She accepted me behaving like a boy, and she loved me doing it. And that is my journey. This teaching saved my life. In truth, it saved my life, because I was on a road that was very unhealthy for me already, and I had problems already. So it saved my life in a very fast way. In truth, others have to have, in my age, I'm 37 years old, have to have a long-term therapist to be able to show the world in a very peaceful and self-confident way.
Like come out of the
yes,
shed.
Exactly. And that makes everything so easy for me. And this one moment when I got support from Jeff, he just held space for me. He never said anything. He just was like my best friend on earth, and hold space for me. And then I realized I am a man. I was always a man. I already had my name Paco. I had my name Paco as a child. And when I kind of was able to see my truth, you were able to see go deeper into your life purpose, like I was also able to go deep in my life purpose, and everything in our union became just easier, because I was able to let go of this holding back of my true self.
Yeah,
And
kind of like all the pieces starting to fall together,
everything
without
was
us
so
even
easy.
knowing that was happening.
Yeah,
it was just a kind of like a byproduct of choosing to heal.
Exactly. That was my journey, and I'm so happy, because I know a lot of stories from other transgender people, trans men and trans women, and it's not easy, but it can be easy. For me, it's really easy. Everything I experience, I can heal in a very easy way, and I'm together with my beautiful woman. She's loving me unconditionally. even she never was a lesbian. She was always into men. And exactly what I always desired, to have a woman who loves a man, because I always felt love for women who are in love with men in truth. And so everyone in my past was always confused, and I was only
No, I was extremely clear with
Yeah.
that. Everybody in the
Exactly.
community learned it through one of our coaching classes with Jeff. Was upon revealing each other, like starting that process, the first big block with like kind of like the reality of it hit me. I was like, oh, okay, this is not a theory anymore.
No.
This is actually happening. As much as I would like to convince myself this person is not my twin flame, it's almost impossible at this point. You kind of already sort of know. And yeah, we like that was my biggest block to receiving him, or like the truth of who he was to me. He was in a woman's body, and again, the community was a lifesaver. And some of my classmates from the coaching class reached out very shortly after that class. Jeff was very patiently and politely helping me through this. And they reached out to me and it's like, hey, how are you doing? How you're feeling? If you need to talk about it, we are here for you. We know, because they were also women who had the same experience not very long ago. And
I
that was very helpful.
I love that I loved from the beginning that you are so honest about it, because I experienced in my past always situations where also women like you, who always were together with men, felt in love with me, and they were immensely confused why they are feeling that for a woman, because then they had this also conversations with me. Why I'm in love with you? I never felt in love with a woman, and I never want to be together with a woman. And I said, no, I don't know either. But it brings so much clarity now.
Yeah,
And
kind of like the pieces fall together when you give it enough time.
Yeah,
sort
exactly.
of. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Paco, if you want to say something more.
Yeah, and this brings so much peace also because it happens. And I realized it's more than we think, that souls are in another body than their energy is. And that's totally okay. And
it's like we cannot underestimate how much our patterns or previous experiences have impacted us, or in our conscious or subconscious level.
Yes.
That we made certain choices, and then you kind of have to face them.
Yes.
And I think this is the hardest pill to swallow for many of us, if not everyone on earth, is realizing that you were the one creating this in your reality.
Exactly.
And to me, it was very important that inner conversation I was having in that summer. Well, it was summer for me in 2019, when the first like very clear question popped up: what if Cornelia is your twin flame? And it was me getting clear. I will choose to have compassion, because clearly there has to be a reason for us having chosen this. We chose it as one. As much as we went, it's on you, and point fingers, twin flames are one conscious, like they are created as one. At the core, they are one. So therefore, choices such as these are made as one. And I was like, okay, not happy about it, but I'm willing to learn where this came from, that we can heal it and make a different choice if we choose to incarnate again. That we don't have to attract the same experience.
Exactly. The moment I was able to say to myself, I am a man, I was not pissed that I'm a man or that I'm transgender now. I just had to swallow this pill. Okay. At some point in my eternity, I chose to have this experience. Okay. I had to heal through that. I accepted unconditionally. And now, once I accepted it, it feels very good, because now I can so expand in myself. And that is the power in our union, to accept us unconditionally and to follow this good feeling in our heart. And this is exactly with the mirror exercise and the teaching. you learn to trust what you already feel in your heart.
What you already know.
What you already know, like you. It needs steps, and everything, the teaching, the whole build around the teaching supports you to just find the truth in your heart and to just see clear through your eyes and clear in your heart. And not because anyone is saying it, no, because you feel it in your heart. And then you are strong enough to live your truth. And becoming something like that is life-saving. For me, it is and was, it was and it still is life-saving.
Yeah, you're extremely grateful for the teaching.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience with that and what you went through with that very honestly. That was just, really good to get a really close glimpse into how that was for you guys to find out at your twin flames and work through this. I'm wondering if you could say what your biggest realizations or things you learned from this are. What would that be?
Well, you have to be very, very clear what your desires and priorities are. At least that was kind of like my biggest takeaway. When I was confronted with the possibility of my twin flame being a trans person, the last kind of like piece of this inner conversation was, what do you desire most? Do you desire the truth, or do you desire to kind of like make believe whatever, kind of like twist stuff to fit your own criteria? And it has to be a very honest inner conversation, extremely honest. What do I care about the most? And it was easy for me in a sense that I was already looking for my twin flame. I didn't know that it was a twin flame, but since I was 6 years old, I was 36. So what was more important? 30 more years of excruciating separation, because that's how it felt. Knocking on the wrong doors, looking at the wrong people, investing in the wrong relationships, or being with the person who was created for me perfectly. And it's exactly what I've been looking for my whole life. The second. So I don't give a rat's ass if he's in the shape of a plant. I want to be with my twin flame, period. Everything else can be resolved. And so here we are.
I like that about you.
I'm a very determined woman. I'm extremely clear on what I desire.
Yes, that's very
And
helpful.
I don't tend to get a no for an answer. Not for long.
Thank you for sharing. What was your biggest takeaway or lesson or realization from what you guys had shared going through this process?
What is the biggest? Also, what is
You
the
left
biggest?
the word?
There are so much that the biggest now.
You can say more than one, whatever you feel guided
the biggest now is to follow this feeling in your heart and to never give up. Never give up. I don't give a fuck. I never give up.
You can take a breather, but do not throw in the towel.
No. Breathe and keep going.
Yeah.
I don't care what someone else is saying. I don't care at all. I just keep going. What I heard last life purpose class I was watching, and Shelia shared it, and I was, wow. She said she never cared what people think about her. She always followed the beat in her heart. And she didn't care if she's making people upset by it, because she's just following the beat in her heart. And that's it.
It's beautiful.
When you do that, you
get everything you want.
Yes,
It's impossible not to.
in truth, every successful person who makes a book or who makes a course is telling you that you should do that.
Yeah.
But here you have a tool where you can help yourself. Always when you feel miserable, when you don't know what to do anymore, when you feel the world is going down, you can help yourself and feel immediately better.
Yeah, and that the change happens from inside out. And so it's sustainable, like, because
Exactly.
you were saying a lot of very famous or wealthy or successful people are saying the same exact thing. I just follow what felt good, and I didn't give a crap to the naysayers. But with the help of the teaching and knowing that you can heal the blocks or the upsets that you may have in your experience in your life as you go about it.
Kind of naturally, as we
Yeah,
go with
like
our
everyone has them.
experiences. Yes.
Every brick you lay in this foundation that you are building for your life is permanent. And I think, at least for me, that's one of the things that I like the most about the teaching is once you change it for good. You do not go back to that. And once you're complete with that piece of healing and you actually transcended something, you transcended it for good. Meaning you no longer have to go through that. For instance, us reaching union and keep going in our healing and claiming our harmonious union and keep going with it. It's us transcending romantic hell or relationship hell, where
financial hell, what we transcending right now.
We're working. Yeah, exactly. This is
and
where
now
we're working.
The steps we are going out the financial hell. This feels so safe. I never felt in my life so safe.
Or like working hell.
Yeah.
We make fun of this because of course we complement each other. He was making fun that I came into the community first, but in certain aspects, he's kind of like the one who goes first in the healing. And so he transcended work hell. And now he's like back to his dream job. And like he loves it. He doesn't give a rat's ass even if he has to like drive longer to get there or whatever.
It's amazing.
I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, the last day I was at work. I had a lot of work. But at some point I felt so. I love it. I love it so much, and I can do it now with boundaries, that I stay healthy, working a lot, and then kind of, okay, I have to breathe, otherwise I abuse myself in working, so I have to breathe now and drink something and maybe go
make
a little,
pause, yeah, exactly. Kind of find balance.
And then I felt this deep love I have for work.
So yeah, what I was getting at, and like as one of the big awarenesses is that how this teaching helps you transcend whatever it is that you don't feel good about your life anymore. Meaning work, relationship, friendships, family, finances, relationship to your body,
beauty,
health. You can transcend anything that doesn't feel good and have that change stay with you forever. I think for me, it's one of the most important things is that the time and the energy and the money that I'm investing in keep going with this journey stays with me. Yeah.
It's very powerful. Very true. What has it been like for you guys to, I guess, be in union and work through this process together in comparison to doing it on your own?
I'm already kind of laughing at the answer at the back of my head. It's both very cool and very challenging because by being together, you cannot hide anymore. And I don't know, like other twin flame unions may have expressed it differently, but this guy over here is kind of like a bloodhound for upsets. It's like, you're feeling this. I'm like, why don't you just allow me to get to clear myself, blah, 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 blah. It's like, but you're already picking it up. Do you want me to support you in helping through it? It's like, yeah, okay. Well, I before I was extremely reserved with my emotions. I was a person who wasn't gonna show it very easily. And if anyone came close to me and to ask how I was doing, I was like Paco was doing for most of his life, kind of like pretending nothing happened. Or that everything was okay. I was kind of like putting on a mask. So I cannot do that with him. It's impossible to bargain. It's impossible to hide. It's impossible to lie. But at the same time, it's relieving because you don't really have to do that anymore.
Isn't that the coolest?
He kind of like pokes me in the places,
yeah.
but the cool thing is that I can say anything to him.
Yeah.
And we are still here. And we had our big fat fights. We are learning to manage those better. But we didn't go anywhere. Like, I hate you right now. 5 minutes later, comes with like 2 coffees. Or should we work through it with the oracle card reading? Yeah, okay. And we work through it and it gets better. And like really better. Not just like, okay, let's make believe better. We go closer, like we grow closer together. We deepen our trust in each other. Of course, like twin flames are gonna be pushing on your boundaries constantly, but it's only to help you grow and become stronger. And so, yeah, whatever it is that you are mastered it, you're gonna be pushing on your twin flame and vice versa.
Yeah, that's it. But that's the purpose. When I realize I hold back and I don't say what God wants to express through me, then something else happens that we have to heal through this
whatever is happening. Yeah.
And so it's the most compassionate thing to
be the one laying the
with your twin flame is the most compassionate thing to move through the layers of the block. And I learned at the beginning, I hold back. At the beginning, you hold back too. And so we created extremely deep challenges in our life that we heal through this block, as we were not able at the beginning to sit there and really face what we are feeling and express it. Even you knew you will upset your twin flame right now. Even you love your twin flame right now. Even you're expressing that because you followed a good feeling. As we were not able to do that at the beginning, we had to get to know each other. We are still people. We are twin flames, but we are still people. We had to go, we knew each other over years through the internet, but we were never together. So we had to learn also to get to know each other and to learn to be in such a level honest.
And feeling safe in being honest
exactly.
At such extent.
Exactly.
Because most people will freak out at the level of honesty that we have.
Exactly, that's true. And the more we heal here and the deeper we go here, the better our life feels. And the more we are in the flow of our life. And the more we can support each other and the more love we feel for each other and the more peace we feel and the closer to God we feel. With your twin flame, it's the coolest thing because you learn to be your true self and you learn to live a peaceful, honest life.
Well, if you were asking to be all of who you are, which is another big piece of the journey, you will have to learn to deal with the aspects of you that you don't like, and your twin flame is going to help you do that. They're going to hold the mirror very close. Close enough so that you cannot run away from it, even if you try. So I remember reading the book and realizing like, oh, okay, this is what I want. I want to be all of me. I want to discover who I am, like truly who I am. And this is what your twin flame is here for, is to help you acknowledge that, or kind of like become self-realized in that sort of like way. Then you know exactly who you are. The good, the not so good, But there was always this quote. I don't know who the actual quote is, but I know that Chef Enchelia had repeated over time, and it's like, you get to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. And I find that very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Very cool. One question that I want to ask you is, what do you feel is the biggest thing that you have taught each other? Like for you, Deborah, what is the biggest thing that you feel Paco has taught you, and vice versa for you, Paco?
For me, it's I teach him to the best of my abilities to be more patient and compassionate, and he teaches me big time boundaries. This keeps being kind of like our current lessons with each other. But at the core, it's kind of like the same. We are both teaching each other boundaries, just it presents itself differently on the outside. One is boundaries with yourself, the other one is boundaries with the other, and it changes a little bit here and there. But yeah, I don't know if you feel like there's.
I would like to add that I learn from you being a man. I don't know how to be a man, and you are, as we are complementary. You are a grown-up woman. You know you are a woman, and you were able to grow up as a woman. I was not able to grow up as a man. I was never really living a boy and then a teenage boy and then a young man. I never was that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel so safe next to you that I can express when I feel a boy, because I feel that now in my gender transition too.
Yeah.
And my twin flame is mirroring. She has also parts where she feels like a little girl. And that is so relieving. And now I can really grow into, in a fast way, the man I really desire in my head, and in truth I always wanted to be.
Yeah, in truth, like even if I was living my life as a divine feminine, we both sort of grew up feeling that we couldn't really be ourselves. So we are finding these places where, like, he's also helping me kind of like connect with my inner child and nurture her and give her everything that she wants or desires. And especially kind of like we are building that foundation of trust that I can speak my mind without feeling like I'm gonna be punished for it, which was kind of like my experience in the past growing up. So yeah, it's kind of like you come into union with your twin flame, and you it's like coming into a completely new life. You kind of like start over from scratch.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're 20 something, 30 something, 40 something. You always, it's kind of like you go back to square one and you start over, but with love.
Yeah, I really like what you're saying. I just had to think, when I was interviewing Daniel and Christina a couple of episodes back, and they mentioned like how when they came into union, it was kind of like you really starting at ground zero, like everything you thought you know is kind of like, let's throw it out the window.
No,
and
it
start again.
Flies out the window.
Yes, and then I resonated. I had the same experience. I was okay. I thought I knew what I was doing and how this journey works, and then you kind of like do, and then you come into union and you're like, okay, I have to learn a different way of being now, but in a good way. But yeah,
absolutely. It's like you thought that you were able to sit at the 3-star restaurant, like 3 Michelin star restaurant, and suddenly you come into union and you realize that you had to handle the little spoon again.
yes.
He comes to the plane like, and you have to kind of like learn it all over again. But like you said, it's done in a far better place.
Yep, absolutely.
Far better place.
What is your favorite part about being in union and living your life together?
Daily life. Daily life with you.
Oh, that's your answer.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking. I thought you were getting clear.
No, daily life with you.
Oh, what is the favorite? Yeah, I don't know. I just love to cuddle with my man.
Oh,
I love that I don't have to cuddle a pillow anymore. I just can cuddle with my man and have that intimate moment where we kind of like, I love it when we share things about like our life and how we feel about stuff from a very honest place. Yeah, that's kind of like when we get to know each other more. That's it.
Yeah, that's very cool about you, because in other relationships I had, I got bored and bored and bored and bored to the point where I was so bored that I didn't want to be together with these people anymore.
wow.
Or this person.
That's not very
But,
cool.
no,
That doesn't sound very good.
no, that sounds not good. But yeah,
But
really.
it's the truth, okay?
Yeah, it
Most-
is what it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what it is. Yeah, and with you, I don't get, and I'm never.
Oh no, baby, with
no,
me you don't
exactly.
get bored at
Oh.
all.
This is the cool thing. You really, this love expands with every day, with every mirror exercise you do. It expands.
And
That's cool.
And if I any chance to start to get bored, I can kick it with some passion. So
Yes, you are able to do that.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
we keep it interesting.
Beautiful. What do you I have two more questions for you so we can start wrapping this up. One of them would be, what do you fear with the experience you've had now of being and living in union for about a year, a bit over a year? What would you say is like one of the, or like maybe the most important quality to have in order to be able to come into union and maintain being in union?
Grit.
Grit?
Yep.
Grit.
Yep. A very clear determination. Yeah. That's kind of like about it for me.
That's good. What is it for you, Paco?
Yeah, I already said it. Keep going. Doing your inner healing work, no matter what.
Persistence.
And persistence. Following your dreams and following the love in your heart.
Beautiful. And then, yeah, coming to the last question, if you could go back to the very beginning of your journey and give that version of yourself a piece of advice or a message, what would you tell that version of you from the past?
Listen to your ascension coach, get yourself immediately an ascension coach, and invest step by step in the products, or when you have the money, do it immediately, and listen to your ascension coach and do it on a regular basis.
Well, if I were to kind of like talk to myself when I started this journey, it's take a deep breath and trust. It is going to get so much better, far beyond you imagined. Because at the beginning of your journey, it doesn't look like much is gonna happen, and you're like, what is this crap? And at the same, and it's impossible to know that it's gonna transform into something beautiful. So that's what I would tell my old version. I was kind of like at ground zero, I was like, it gets far better than you can imagine. Just take a deep breath and go.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing this.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we have come to the end of our chat today. I really enjoyed listening to your story, and yeah, especially like everything that you shared about this, having like this honesty in your union and really being honest when addressing things. I feel that's like one of the really big things that you shared a lot about today, and that was extremely like really rich. So thank you for sharing about your journey and giving us a intimate insight into also your inner work and like the lessons and all of that you've learned along the way.
Happy to.
Happy to, yeah.
So, and yeah, also for everyone who has been listening, thank you very much for being here with us today. And as Paco just mentioned at the end, if you desire to hear Twin Flame Separation, head over to twinflamesuniverse.com for all of the products, Twin Flames Universe, Life Purpose class, and everything that really helps you come into your Twin Flame union. You also find all the ascension coaches we have available at twinflamesuniverse.com. Get yourself an ascension coach to really be supported on this journey. Yeah, we also have a free introduction course at twinflamesuniverse.com. I can also really recommend signing up for that. It just really gives a very perfect, grounded, overall introduction to how this journey works and how to be really successful on your twin flame journey. And then I wish all of you many blessings on your journey, and we will see you next week with another episode.